So this might be the pettiest thing that I've seen so far all year when it comes concerning anime fans. So for the popular but heavily mixed franchise Darling in the Franxx, now to give full context, I've watched a tiny bit of the show, I'm not fully caught up, but the parts that I've seen so far, I'm not really melded too well with the show so far. I mean, it has some gorgeous animation, but it's like, apart from Zero Two and like a few characters, like this show is fine, but it hasn't completely won me over, and I will plan on finishing this series at some point. However, though, what really surprised me is how the fans of this series are giving death threats, are like threatening and like making people try and quit their jobs due to relationship issues that's been happening in the series. So let's kind of talk a little bit about it, like the Anime News Network talked about, where the former A1 Pictures and current Cloverworks producer Yuichi Fukushima's Twitter account is being like bombarded with angry and harassing messages since the airing of episode 14 of Darling in the Franxx, and this episode apparently changed the love triangle between the main character Hiro, Zero Two, and Ichigo, with a lot of people reacting heavily negatively to this episode due to apparently like Ichigo's actions in this episode. So basically, like honestly, like at the end of the day, like I personally don't care if I get spoiled on it. Like I still personally don't know what the character does per se, but I imagine she puts fucking Zero Two in a dangerous situation where it's like, no, I love him though, and will like actually endanger Zero Two or like rat her out or something. Like that's where I'm generally going, and it's like, no, but I want Hero. Like that's what I imagine going to it, and it's like it's gonna be probably a bitch move either way, like from the character. However, though, like sure, whatever, like that's a part of the character, and who knows, that can go completely different. I don't know if fucking Hero hooks up with Ichigo or anything, like I don't know. However, though, like the fact that he had to kind of explain himself and people giving him death threats, and the writer of the episode that like fire him, other people are screaming at this dude, let's murder him. Like there's a whole, like one thing that I kind of laughed a little bit is that there's a hashtag called Bitchigo like on this. I'm like, alright, I guess Bitchigo is the whole thing now, because clearly this character has done something really bad on there, and it's like this whole like picture of Zero Two with a gun, and it's like pointing towards the writer and producers, and it's like, okay, look, at the end of the fucking day, like we're talking about fucking waifu wars here. We're talking about my waifu's cuter, but she did this, and it's like, oh, she was a bitch to my character. The last time I remember fucking hearing some news about this, like having a similar thing, is literally going back to the Naruto, like Hinata Sakura shit. We're talking about the Orihime and like Rukia. Tales as Asteria had that with Elisa and Rose, like, and a lot of it was like the Japanese fans freaking out. It wasn't as bad as it was in English, but it seems like the English audience as well is pretty upset about the current events in this show. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's the fucking creators' decisions where they want to fucking go with this. Like, at the end of the day, it still isn't finished. That's one thing as well, where it's like, oh, unless literally she put a fucking gun in Zero Two's mouth and blew her brains off, which I have a slight sneaking suspicion they're not going to do, because she's the main character, and trust me, I didn't care for that cast of characters apart from Zero Two. I don't really care for Hiro, I don't care for Ichigo, I don't care. Like, Zero Two was the only one that was like screaming personality in that show for me, like apart from like the mech designs and like a couple of cool things. But regardless of the point, it's like, so like they clearly want to do something with this, and while I personally don't care for the show, I'm completely think it's fine to, you're entitled to have an opinion. Like I personally have fucking pairings in series where I'm like, man, I really wish that was like a different, for the longest time. Like, we'll use something example that I joke with some friends. When Nisekoi was a thing going on, literally everybody that I knew was into a different girl. So we immediately had someone who was into into Chitoge completely. We had someone that was into like Unadera. We had someone in Tsugumi. I was the Marika person. Yes, I was that swine until the manga changed my mind on it, and I was like, Marika changed. But at the end of the day, we were like, oh man, fuck you and your trash waifu, and like, oh, you're like irrelevant. Let's not hear about that shit. And it's like, you know, joking around in Skype calls and shit like that. Do you know what we did? Like, we didn't, like, when the last chapters of Nisekoi come out, we didn't fucking lash out at, like, the, man, fuck you Naoshikomi, how dare you choose, like Chitoge over everyone else, oh my god, it should have been, I'm sure people were like that at the end of Nisekoi, but, like, come the fuck on, we're talking about fucking manga and anime waifus at this point. It's like, it's fucking pointless. I understand getting upset over a piece of fucking media, but not to the point where you're threatening real people's lives here. And that is the problem, is that people get so attached to these characters that reality seems to blend in some way with them, where it's like, no, they're a huge part of my life, and it's like, yeah, look, I fucking get it. I love characters like Gintoki. He's a fucking amazing character. I absolutely adore everything about that. It doesn't mean, though, that if they try and do something interesting with Ichigo, with Gintoki, with Naruto, with any of these fucking characters on there, like, if I find out, like, Gintoki's like, actually, no, I'm not, like, going out with, like, Sukiya, which, like, there's a clear thing that was going for a while. It's like, if I find out, like, at the end, if, like, Gintama is like, actually, no, he went in and dated just some other random girl, I'll be like, man, that should have been my girl, Sukiya, but I'm not gonna be fucking upset about it. Like, at the end of the day, I'll be, like, a little disappointed, but I'm not gonna be there, like, man, fucking Srirachi, like, it's so childish. Like, I generally, like, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself and all that. Like, I generally feel embarrassed of the people that actually did this. Like, is such a stupid thing. Obviously, you got your trolls that just do it to jump on the memes and shit like that, but yeah, I want to see what some of you sane people want to have. And, like, again, like, I'm saying for this video as well, like, I don't care for spoilers in the show, like, so I'm pretty sure, like, whatever Ichigo did, which is weird, trying to distance that Ichigo and Bleach Ichigo, but I'm pretty sure what Darling Ichigo did, I'm pretty sure is bad, and I'm pretty sure if I watched the episode, it'd be like, what the fuck is up with this character? Why are they doing this? And like, oh my god, did they just fuck over 02 that way, or Hero, and all that shit. Like, I'm pretty sure I'll be, like, with what I've seen in the show, I'm pretty sure I'm in the 002, like, bandwagon right here. But that doesn't mean it's like, if they've got a vision and they want to tell a certain story with, like, these plot threads, then sure. Like, I think you should at least, I don't know, considering that, like, one of the biggest things, they're like, maybe you should wait a week. Like, I completely hate this fucking mentality, and I know that's what fuels a lot of the Japanese, like, kind of, like, sales and shit of, like, having these waifu shit, and it's like, you can't upset the fans too much. It's like, or the same thing with over here. It's just, it gets it's really petty, and it's really fucking sad, to be fair. So, like, yeah, I just want to let my opinion on it, as I was, like, mentioning about it on, like, Twitter, and I was like, you know what, this would be an interesting video to talk about, because this is something where it's like, it's a show that's actually, like, popular around it, and I've seen quite a lot of people talk about, like, recently, and I've been like, yeah, that show, it didn't blow up as I was expecting it to be. I was like, no, it only took till now until, like, a lot more, like, celebrities and everything were kind of talking about the show, but, I don't know, like I said, I'll eventually watch it. I mean, it's a Trigger show, and I definitely want to sit down. It's, like, got mechs, and that's another fucking winning factor to me as well. Like, I could just be in there for the mech fights, but, yeah, like, overall, like, the show, like, come on, just enjoy it for what it is, and just don't, like, get involved in petty shit like that. But that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.